Hello everyone, it's Rune here, and today I'm going to talk about the Elder Scrolls Online Full Beginner's Guide. So I'm going to cover what are some of the most important / easiest things to do when you're new to the Elder Scrolls Online, and some tips and tricks that you can definitely apply to the game, which are actually very useful and don't take you a lot of time at all. So first of all, when you're totally new to the game, whether you are on console or on a computer, what I would recommend is to just ask in the zone chat for a community guild. I mean, overall in most zones and active servers, you will definitely get a whisper from some people that will be like, hey, sure, you can join our guild or stuff like that. Once you are in that guild, you know, you are already part of a community, and most people will not be, most people will totally be fine with crafting you some training gear. And that brings us to the second tip, get some training gear. So once you have joined a guild, you can just ask, can someone craft me some training gear? And most people will have no problem at all crafting you some training gear. So training gear increase your XP gained from kills. So if you have the lowest quality, which is white quality, it will increase your experience gained from kills by 7%. Then the next one is green quality, it's 8%. And then the next one is blue quality, 9%. Purple will give you 10. And of course, gold will give you 11. Now, most people will not craft you gold gear. Purple gear is also not recommendable, as you will quickly outlevel your gear and you will need new gear. So overall you can expect to get maybe around green quality. That's pretty normal because green quality is easy to make. The next tip that I have for you is to wear at least one piece of every armor type. In this game there are 3 armor types. We have light armor, then you have medium armor, and you have heavy armor. If you go to your skill lines, you see I only have heavy armor unlocked at the moment. That is because the game will lock it until you wear 3 pieces of one armor type. So in order for me to unlock medium or light armor now, I will have to wear 3 light, for example. Now I'm wearing 3 lights, skill line gains, light armor. And now I'm wearing 3 medium, skill line gains, medium armor. So at least wear 1 piece of each armor skill line. That way you will level all skill lines. If you ever wanted in the future to like reroll from heavy armor to light armor, then you at least already have it leveled and you don't have to redo it. I myself always tend to spread it out equally. So like 2 medium, 2 light, and then 2 or 3 heavy. And once heavy is a bit more leveled, I will swap it out to like 3 medium, 2 light, and 2 heavy. Another great thing is that on level 10 you will get a free horse. So while you may not have a horse until level 10, you can already start feeding your horse. In order to feed your horse, you simply have to go to a stable and go to the stable master. The stable can easily be found in every city and town with the horse icon. So no matter where you start, you always find the horse icon, and that's, you know, that's the stable. There I go in order to feed my mounts. So you find the stable master, there he is, you talk to him. And the first thing I would personally recommend for you to level is your speed to increase the movement speed of your mount. Or the other one that you could go for is carry capacity, so you will have more inventory space. So speed, pretty much straightforward, will increase your speed of your mount. What stamina does basically is, you have a stamina bar on your horse, like you can see this little icon here, and you can have infinite running on all mounts. Even when he runs out of stamina, your mount will keep running. But basically the stamina bar is an extra protection layer that will protect you from getting knocked back. So when your mount is out of stamina and an NPC hits you, you will directly get dismounted and you will fall to the ground. While if you have stamina, the NPC hitting you will just damage the stamina until it hits 0, then it will drop off of your mount. So it is really up to you which one you would prefer. Do you want some more inventory space? Well, then you upgrade your inventory capacity, carry capacity, or if you want more speed movement, you buy the speed one. I myself always go for speed. You can upgrade and feed your mount every 20 hours, so make sure you keep doing this even when you don't have a mount, so you at least already have like an upgrade amount a little bit later on once you get one. It will definitely help you out. So we already covered that you want to wear 1 armor piece, so you level all the armor lines. And the same goes pretty much for the class skill lines. So if you are a Dragon Knight or a Sorcerer, it will say a different class line than it's currently saying, as I'm a Templar on this one. but you will have 3 lines as well. You will have 3 class lines in total. So what you want to do, you want to always use one ability from each class line. So from the first class line, you want to keep one slotted. From the second one, you want to keep an ability slotted. And from the first class line, you want to keep an ability slot as well. It doesn't matter which one, as long as you at least have one. Why? Even if I don't use that ability at all, XP will still go into that specific class line, and that way I will unlock new abilities and I will unlock the passives. You really want to unlock the passives, no matter what you're going to do. If you're going only PvP, only PvE, mixture of both, you want to unlock those. And again, it's always useful to have everything unlocked in case you ever want to swap your setup or anything. You don't have to regrind it. So keep at least one from each class line and also slot an ability from your weapon bar. You will have 5 abilities, so that's really perfect because you will have one for each class line that occupies 3. Then you will have one for your weapon ability, and later on when you unlock your second weapon on level 15, you can even slot a 5th ability. So once I'm hit level 15 and I want to level my bow, I can actually slow a bow ability on my 2-handed bar. I may not be able to use it, but I will still level the bow bar. The next tip I have for everyone is to join the Fighters and Mages Guild as early on as possible. While you may not be interested to start doing the Mages or Fighters Guild questline, it is always good to join them as early on as possible, so you will have them unlocked and you can start leveling them. The Mages Guild and Fighters Guild can very easily be found by their icons. The Fighters Guild is this iconic sword, and the Mages Guild is this circle with an eye on it. I don't really know. So they are in pretty much all the beginners towns and all the main towns. I mean, you can really find them everywhere. If you just check the town, like you can see, Fighters Guild here, Mages Guild here. So yeah, again, depending on which zone or area you're playing, you either have to go inside the Mages Guild to look for the quest giver to join it, or outside of the Mages Guild. You just talk to that person, you say, hey, I'm ready to join the Mages Guild, and well, that's pretty much it. And there you go. After you have done that, you have the access to the Mages Guild. The Mages Guild is leveled by reading lore books that can be found throughout Tamriel, and the Fighters Guild, once joined, can be leveled by killing Daedra, undead, and other creatures. A great way to level in this game, and another fun way as well, because it will add some variety to your gameplay, is to do random battlegrounds and random dungeons. For example, for doing a random battleground and earning first or second place in order to gain the rewards, I can gain almost 40,000 XP, while my level progression needs 6,500 XP. So by doing something like this, you can like get 2 levels. Now later on, of course, this progress will go slower, but I would really recommend, if you can do it and can finish it, to do at least random battlegrounds once a day and a random dungeon and get a daily random reward. This is a great way not only to gain your level up, but once you hit level 50, also good to get champion points. And like I said, it's a nice break, you know, from the constant quest grind and a constant main story grind. If you want to do something else, if you want to experience something else, it's a great way to do. There are also different Manda Stones in this game. Manda Stones can give you several benefits. For example, they can give you increased maximum health, increased maximum magicka, increased maximum stamina, or increased recovery, anything like that. For example, the Lady Boon here will give me increased physical and spell resistance. So you can only have one Mandas active at a time. You have to just go there, hit E to use it, and once activated, it will show in your bar as active effects. For example, here the Boon, the Lady, increase your spell and physical resistance by 2.8k. Again, you can only have one Mandas active at a time. If you find another Mandas that you would prefer to have, like increased recovery, you can use that one and the previous one will go away. If you regret a decision, you can always travel back to the Mandas. Once found, it will always show on your map. You can just go back there and change it again. It comes with no cost at all. The only thing that you have to do is travel there and activate it. This raw material also brings me directly to my next thing. Raw materials, you shouldn't refine raw materials. Now what are raw materials? Pretty much are materials that you can be refining. Now why shouldn't you refine raw materials? Very simple. Whenever you are refining raw materials, there is a chance you get a temper out of it. A temper is pretty much an upgrade you can apply. If you perhaps have noticed, you have white weapons, green weapons, blue weapons, purple weapons, and gold weapons. Now, white is like pretty much the worthless standard version. It's not upgraded at all. Then you have the green, etc, etc. Whenever you are refining materials, you can get a temper out of it. And a temper is something that is used to make your weapon another level of quality. So this is a temper for example, a honing stone. It's used to increase the quality from normal to fine. And by refining materials, you can get the very high tempers, like tempering alloy, which is worth quite a lot because it's like the last level of quality upgrades. It's gold quality. But there are passives you can unlock. For example here, if we have unraveling, improve the chance of extracting clothing ingredients and allows the refining of more powerful tannins from raw materials. So you only want to refine raw materials once you got a 3 out of 3 unraveling, or for woodworking, for example, wood extraction, or for blacksmithing, metal extraction. If you don't have a 3 out of 3, it's not recommendable because the chance of you getting a high level temper, aka the end level one, like a gold one, is very low, and you will mostly get green quality, which you're kind of wasting it. That's what I'm trying to say. You're kind of wasting it, so it's better to hold on to it and use it like in the future, or maybe even sell it and get some already refined materials if you really want to craft. Now while you are playing the game, you might run into a lot of weaponry and items. And what you can do with these items, instead of selling, what I would recommend to you is start to research trades and to deconstruct any additional items or weapons that you have no use for. So there are 3 options for me what to do now with my extra items and leftover gear. First of all, I can choose the option to simply sell the items and gear I have. For example, the maple shooter Magica, I can sell it for 18 gold. Now I would never recommend selling items, because first of all, you want to learn your crafting. You want to learn the crafting like blacksmithing, woodworking and clothing, and you also want to do research trade. Now research trade is the first thing I recommend to do. But what is research trade exactly? Basically any weapon or item can have a trade. The trade is basically something extra. For example, powered increases the healing done, precise increase weapon and spell critical, defending increase your physical and spell resistance, etc, etc. So in order to research it, I simply go to the research tab. I will look for example for the shield and sturdy or impenetrable, and here I go. I hit E research trade and I will have to wait 5 hours. However, with every trade researched, it will take longer for a new trade to research. So while the first one might take only 5 hours, 10 hours, etc., the last trades will take like 21 days. So that's why I say basically get started with it at low level, because the more you do of it, the longer it will take, with it taking very long to get it all done. And the next one is deconstruction. Now deconstruction is recommended first of all because by deconstructing I can get materials that are almost worth the same gold price, but I also level my woodworking while I'm at it. So I'm just going to deconstruct this for example. And what did I get? I got 1 pitch out of it, 3 center maple and a manganese. Now the gold worth for this was 18 gold to sell it. And this raw material, well, this has no value at all. Pitch, if you probably sell it in a gold store, it's like 10-20 gold each, but you already got your gold out of that. And if you do center maple is worth like, well, here we go, we have 3 center maple now. In our materials back, 12 gold. So all with all, we didn't really lose gold, if gold is what you're looking for, because worst case scenario, we can still sell our maple for 12 gold. And on top of that, we got our woodworking up a little more, and once you have better wood extraction, you will get even more materials out of it. So this goes for pretty much everything. You can do this with all the gear. For blacksmithing, you go to the blacksmithing station. The blacksmithing overall also has a clothing station. next to it, and you can also do it with the enchanting station by deconstructing enchantments. It's very recommendable to do. Apart from that, I would recommend to really do the main story quest line. You want to do the main quest first of all because you will get access to the world line, and then you will get like the main storyline, soul magic. By doing the main story quest, you will get the soul magic further leveled and progress. Also, the main quest will give you skill points. It will give you skill points as a reward. Secondly, do the guild quests like the Mage's Guild and the Fighter's Guild. Same story pretty much. You will level those guilds not only, but you will also get skill points as a reward. And thirdly, each zone and alliance has their own main story once you get started in them. Now, it depends where you get started. Of course, you can maybe start with Vardenfell, you can get started with Somerset, or you can start in Almeri Dominion, the Daggerfall Covenant, or the Ebonheart Pact. It doesn't really matter, as again, each alliance has their own main story. I personally would recommend to stick to this. While there are side stories, overall doing the main quest story, plus the random dungeons and stuff, you will get more and more than enough XP gain. And by doing the main storylines of each zone, you also get skill points rewarded to them. Also, when playing the game, you shouldn't be too worried about where to spend your attribute points or what skills to unlock. Later on in the game, you can always reset your skill points and your attribute points by going to one of the shrines in the capital of your alliance. There you will pay a gold fee. Depending on how much skill points you have, it will be 50 gold for each skill point and attribute point. However, once you hit level 47, you will get a level up reward that is a free reset in skills and attribute points. So, you know, just starting out, don't worry what skills you unlock. Just stick with the rules of using at least one class ability and make sure you level your weapons and your armor lines. And try to level the guilds as well. If you do the main storylines and the guild quests, then overall you will have more than enough skill points, and you even will have skill points for crafting, cooking, enchanting, whatever you are planning to do. So again, do not worry about where you spend your points. If you die too fast, you know, put some points in health. Do you run out of your magicka when you combat too fast? Get some more max magicka by spending your points in that. Or spread it out. Whatever you feel is viable. Again, don't worry about endgame builds or anything like that. You shouldn't be worried about it at all. You can also upgrade your backspace if you want to do that. In order to upgrade your backspace, you simply can go to a pack merchant. For example, here in Daggerfall there is one. The first upgrade will be pretty cheap. Like the first one is only 400 gold. But then the next one is already going to be more. It's 2000. After 2000 it's going to go up and up and up. I thought the final upgrade was like 60,000-70,000 gold. But to do the first 10-20 upgrades is not too much. You also will have a bank. Every player has a bank. And if you are an ESO Plus member, you will have double the bank space as compared to someone who is not an ESO Plus member. So that's a nice extra bonus if you are an ESO Plus member. You can also choose to buy bank upgrades, the same as you can choose to buy backspace upgrades. The first few will be cheap, and the more you buy, the progressively the more expensive it will get. The game also has the option to consume variable things such as drinks as foods. When you start out of the game, you for example get a crown fortifying meal. It increases your max health, max magicka and max stamina. For newcomers to the game, I would overall recommend a food like this, which gives you tri-stat bonus. Tri-stat basically mean try free. So 3 statistics get increased, the magicka, health and stamina. You also have drinks, for example, that increases your recovery. But again, I would recommend a food like this and increase your max stats, as it will be harder to die. You will have more max health and you will have more resources. So overall you can find these again within your guild. Just ask for a couple of tri-stat foods and you should be totally fine. Once you are more comfortable with the game and more experienced, and you run out of resources but you never get low health, that's when you can look for a recovery drink instead of a food. Now this is pretty much all I have to say regarding the game. If you get started out, do not focus too much on the endgame content. Like dip your toes into Cyrodiil, a bit of dungeons and stuff like that. But I frequently get people who are level 30 or level 20 come to me, Ruben, what is a good PvP build? What is a good PvE build? Even though you are level 20, you are level 30. You shouldn't really focus on getting an endgame build. You should only start focusing on an endgame build once you hit like champion point 160, as that is the endgame level for gear. So it's not too recommendable really to try and rush to the end of that, because you will not be too used to the mechanics of the game and you not really know what to do, and it will really make the game less enjoyable. So just do these beginner tips. It will help you progressing towards the end game. It will also make it less tiresome once you are there and you want to swap things around, or you are seeing that one build you want to run, but you realize, oh shit, I don't have my light armor leveled or anything like that. You actually will have it leveled. And that way it will help you out for the end game content. I wish you guys a great time in Tamriel. If you're looking for more builds or guides, check out learneso.net. Link underneath the description. Feel free to join our Discord server with players from all the systems and servers. And feel free to join us on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/RubenSky. Have a great day everyone. I'm out. Bye bye.